The Waitress and the Boy in the Rain. It was one of those nights when the rain just wouldn't stop. The neon sign outside Eddie's diner flickered against the storm, casting a dull glow over the wet street. Inside, Clara, a young waitress with tired eyes and shoes that had seen better days, was wiping down tables. It was almost closing time. That's when the door opened. A little boy stepped in, soaked from head to toe. His clothes clung to him, his hair stuck to his forehead, and his shoes squelched with every step. He looked around nervously before whispering, "I don't have any money." I just wanted to get warm. Clara's heart broke right there. Rules didn't matter to her. She sat him down at a booth and brought him scrambled eggs, pancakes, and a steaming cup of hot chocolate. The boy's eyes lit up. He ate quickly, as if he hadn't had a proper meal in days. But someone was watching. From behind the counter, the manager stormed over. His voice was sharp, angry. "Clara, what do you think you're doing?" "That kid's not paying." Clara stood her ground. "He's just a child." "It's one meal." But the manager didn't care. His face turned red. "You don't make the rules here. You just broke them. Pack your things. You're finished." Minutes later, Clara stood outside in the pouring rain. A small bag with her belongings hung at her side. Inside the diner, the boy pressed his hands to the glass, his wide eyes following her as she disappeared into the storm. By the time she reached her rundown apartment building, Clara was soaked and exhausted. She sat on the steps, her voice breaking as she whispered to herself, "Maybe kindness really doesn't pay." But then, the quiet street came alive with the sound of engines. A line of black SUVs rolled up to the curb. Their headlights cut through the rain. Men in suits stepped out, umbrellas snapping open. Clara froze, her heart pounding. And then, from the first SUV, the boy stepped out. But this time, he looked different. His hair was neatly combed, his coat was clean, and his eyes sparkled. He ran to her, shouting, "Clara!" before wrapping his arms around her. Behind him, a tall man in a black overcoat emerged. His presence was commanding, but his expression was warm. He walked over and said, "You must be Clara." Clara nodded, confused. "Yes." "And you are?" The man rested a hand on the boy's shoulder. "My name is Richard Hawthorne. I'm his father, and I'm grateful." Clara froze. Richard Hawthorne was no ordinary man. He was one of the wealthiest businessmen in the city. She had only ever seen his face on billboards. "My son wandered off tonight," Richard explained. "While others ignored him, you showed him kindness. You fed him, treated him like he mattered. And for that, you lost your job." Clara's voice was quiet. "I couldn't just let him go hungry." Richard gave a small smile. "The world needs more people like you." He gestured, and one of his men handed Clara an envelope. Inside was a job offer, a position at one of his family-owned restaurants, with pay and benefits beyond anything she had ever known. Clara's hands trembled as she looked at the letter, then at the boy, whose face glowed with joy. That night, Clara's life turned around. What began with despair ended with hope, and as the SUVs drove away, the boy waved at her through the window. Clara stood in the rain, her tears mixing with the storm. But this time, they weren't tears of sorrow. They were tears of gratitude, because she finally understood a truth she had nearly given up on. Kindness is never wasted. It always finds its way back. For more stories like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.